Welcome back to the Alienware Cup as we're going into the final match of the day, and could be the final match.
Could be.
Could be, because currently we're between LGD International and Rattlesnake, and Rattlesnake have already taken the first game. You guys all predicted LGD International to win this, but you did say 2-1, so you're still on track.
You said 2-0, so that's why you're saying this is the final match.
I'm wrong.
Merlini did say 2-0.
Oh, we have one out.
Yeah, he's out of the competition. It's Lumi, Bruno versus this guy, and I'm going to win. But we have to see what they're going to come to. It looks like they're already into the bans and picks, so we won't waste any more time. Bruno, anything you want to say before we go into the game?
Let's go into the game.
That's okay, that's good.
So we're back in the draft. This is game 2 between Rattlesnake and LGD Gaming. LG Gaming said, let's do it again.
What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to introduce us, Lumi.
Oh. I am Luminous.
I'm Merlini. We're here bringing you game 2 of LGD International versus Rattlesnake Gaming. In this lower bracket?
Yeah,
lower bracket bracket of the Alienware Cup. You got to do the intro, Lumi. Putting me on the spot there.
We gotta be well-versed and well-rounded.
We're not Merlini yet. We need to evolve into that.
All right, we're getting there. We're like level 15.
This
is like some next level Pokemon reference that nobody's getting. All right, what's Nature's Prophet? I think I just touched your feet. Sorry, or not. It's gonna be the first pickup here for LG Gaming. They had an interesting strategy that it worked out okay for the first couple of seconds, and
a couple of seconds,
or first couple of minutes. Sorry, and they had
Wave gets a T1 tower. It starts going poorly.
But no, like the Venge and the Wisp Roam was pretty awesome. I wasn't expecting it to be as awesome as it was, but. Do you think they're gonna go back to it again? Because it really requires a PA, right? Because I feel like the Typhoon Dagger gave them a ton of kills.
I think that Gyrocopter is like the hero for that strategy, just because the move speed is so insane. You can just right click and rocket barrage at the same time. Usually you have to choose one or the other, but with boots, or not even with boots, with the tether move speed, you have everything. And they lacked AoE last game. You have flat cannon, you have the call down, you have the early game magic damage, which PA doesn't really have. I think it really hurt them that Rattlesnake put Gyrocopter.
Birds, another reason
I know. Look at that, Gyrocopter. All right. Okay. That's really what they wanted last game. I felt that it would have worked perfect for them instead of PA last game. It gives them AoE. They don't need that many items up on him. He is BKB dependent, but he farms it much faster. He's much better in the catch-up role. He's a ranged hero, which means he can farm easier than triple lane. But again, this first pick Visage by Rattlesnake means that the triple lane may favor Rattlesnake, just because Visage is just insane in triple lanes.
Especially the offensive triple lane that they can always run. And of course, we saw Vengeful Spear and the Wisp last game kind of backstabbing, coming in and out for kills, using their long range to effectiveness. You can't do that against Visage. It doesn't matter how far away you kite, Soul Assumption will find you. And when your name is Wisp, when you have no HP, when your name is Venge, or whichever insert support here, you get blown up. So I don't know what they're going to do against this Visage. Maybe you avoid them in the early game. Don't take fights against them.
I think you can just 4v3 him and just try and trade
have Brax keeping in again.
Right. Yeah. I think that's what they aim for. Again, LGD is keeping their mid hero open, which I think is also very important. Queen of Pain, I don't think it was a bad pick last game, but I think there could be better. They picked it, I believe, 4th pick. They picked 3rd Venge, 4th pick Queen of Pain, 5th pick Phantom Assassin. Yeah. So again, Gyrocopter are already there, so they need another support and a mid roll. They're really thinking about, I think the mid hero comes now, and then the what was the last
carry?
support?
Yeah,
I mean, they could do Venge now. I don't know if Venge is the best pick. Nyx Assassin I think would work decently too. Venge is decent. I'm not too sure where they're going to run it again. It looks like they're hesitating
Nyx Assassin
as well.
being banned out by Rattlesnake.
Yeah.
So.
What other heroes would work well with the Wisp Roam strat?
We saw things like Wisp Tree the other day. We saw Wisp Keeper of the Light for some insane relocate recall combos, but I don't think LGD is going to be going for that kind of shenanigan. What about a revisit of Chen? LGD is really, really good with their early game jungle play. It kind of fortifies your weaker lane of Wisp. Play defensive early and just go for more of a mid-game superiority. Nature's Prophet is very good at that. But Naga Siren, so this is a support Naga, right?
I think it's mid
Solo
Naga.
mid Naga? Okay. So G says, I got hammered pretty hard the other day. Let's see
by Naga, let's see if I can do that
yeah,
too.
let's see if I could do that. And she definitely lacks a little bit in base damage, I think starting at 48 base, which is not exactly too high for a melee hero, but when you're spamming Riptide with bot or regen, you should be okay. And of course, all the minus armor is going to be key against Visage, Alchemist, and Clockwork.
So they actually banned out Naga Siren last game. I'm thinking about how this game differs from the draft from last game. So last game in the 3rd and 4th bans, they banned out Naga Siren as well as Shadow Demon. So Shadow Demon was first banned out by Rattlesnake. Looks like Naga Siren, I don't know whether that's more of a priority over DK or Leshrac, but LGD.int feels that DK and Lesh just totally screwed them over last game. They're going to ban those 2 stunners out and choose Rattlesnake to choose slightly different triple lane. But again, Visage Alchemist is already a pretty strong start for that.
Yeah, also like Naga Siren against Clockwork, we saw how good she was against, I think it was Reverse Polarity coming out from Magnus. It doesn't matter if you get 3-man RP, you sleep, you reset. Same thing with Clockwork, using a lot of teams like to initiate with them, you sleep and then you regroup, and it's going to be a Spectro coming out from Rattlesnake Gaming. This
Wow,
is kind of
super greedy.
Yeah, all over the place. We saw 3 semi-carry coming out from Rattlesnake last game. This time, 2 carries so far, but they kind of require a ton more farm.
So I don't actually know where they're going to put the Alchemist. They
Solo
might,
mid?
It could very well be a solo mid. I think that Naga will just find too much farm. I think they kind of need to try and get a better grip in the early game phase. Rattlesnake, although they had the first blood and it looked like things were going well for them, they just kind of got destroyed in the early game. I feel that if Rattlesnake had better early game heroes, again, DK versus Queen of Pain, not the best matchup for DK. They can just try and halt the aggression from LGD and not have to wait for those Shadow Blades to turn the game around. So, I mean, support Alchemist versus solo mid. I think the solo mid would definitely work better here, though.
Yes. Well, I just feel that Alchemist will lose to Naga Siren. And I think Clockwork might stand a better chance if you cog away her mana a little bit. But we haven't seen Rattlesnake play solo mid Clock quite a bit. It's generally Kabu, and he's generally the 4th row player. But for Rattlesnake, they like I said during the preview of Game 1, like they'd like to swap their heroes and roles quite a bit. So who knows what they're going to have.
I mean, it could technically be a support Naga Siren too. I think it's going to be a solo mid, but it could very well be a support. They actually banned out Tree last. Tree, I think, is a good ban because it kind of halts their global aggression, although Tree is not very good versus Gyrocopter. That Rocket Barrage just owns it.
Yeah, it does own the Living Armor as a spell. Although I do believe that Overgrowth is decent against Gyro. When he calls down and pops his BKB, you just overgrowth him and you kind of lock him in place for a couple seconds. But that's neither here nor there because he's banned out. I do believe Rattlesnake expects Naga to be a support because they banned out Storm, which is one of G's kind of really good heroes.
So what is LGD going to pick now? It's either going to be a support or a solo mid. I think it's going to be a support, but after that last ban, I'm not too sure. So looking at the options, looking at their AoE, I think they could do well with another setup or a follow-up to Song of the Siren, so just more AoE. I think Queen of Pain will work well. Again, solo mid Disruptor we've seen a lot, but I highly doubt we'll see that.
Did you say solo mid Disruptor?
I've seen it before. I saw Boa pull it off on Team Liquid. Ooh, Marana. That's cool.
Are we gonna see some double roam, Wisp, Naga, and snare into long range arrows?
I think it's the ensnare and the arrow. I think it's good that they pick something that you can just combo with ensnare. So I already like that. A little bit of flexibility from LGD and some creativity.
Yeah.
Notch them up a point on the hexagon.
Well, it's gotta work, and we'll see whether it works or not. Naga Siren, one of the more powerful early game roamers, simply because she has a ton of base armor. Allows her tower dive fairly effectively. Riptide allows you all to follow up with tons of physical right click that will do more damage. And Rattlesnake, they know the roam is coming.
They need one more support.
Yeah, they do, and it's gonna be coming to forward with Jakiro. Not a bad support considering that it's very long range. Kind of holds very nicely with Visage. Very tanky as well, so shouldn't fall to victim of these kind of roaming supports.
And the AoE is very good versus Naga Siren too. If they pick like a more single target support, for example, like Shadow Demon, although he was banned out, maybe like Rubik has a little bit more trouble dealing with illusions, but with the Ice Path, the Dual Breath, and the Macro Fire, as well as the Liquid Fire, I think is a better choice versus this lineup. So on the side of LGDint, we have the Western Superstars with their fancy hairdos and magazine cover poses. We have G on Marana. Looks like he's going to be solo mid, a support Naga, or actually, I don't know. Brax is playing the Naga Siren regardless. I'm not really sure what their lanes are.
She's got a sentry, so I imagine it's support.
So 1437 is on the Wisp. Looks like he's going to be paired with Brax in the off lane. Pycat on the Nature's Prophet, switching things up a little bit, and Misery on the Gyrocopter.
Yeah, we'll see whether he's going to be playing the one row. He does have 200 gold in the bank. It's kind of all up in the air here.
Yeah, wow.
For LGDN.
Yeah, Marana is pulled Sango and Isao. I can't speak English. You want to go ahead and introduce Rattlesnake?
Well, I'm not sure how much better I could speak English, but Lamb's going to be playing the Alchemist. I see the 1-row player playing a Clockwork. Generally, Kabu plays it. Kabu is going to be back on the 4-row support. He's going to be playing Jakiro. Neo is going to be on Visage. Last but not least, Luo is going to be playing Spectre.
So we see some scouting from the Nature's Prophet. Again, they will see that there are 3 heroes bottom. But again, I don't think I've ever seen Spectre in an offensive triple lane. So again, fairly predictable lanes from Rattlesnake. They have the triple lane bottom, Spectre farming, Jakiro support, as well as the Visage. They have the Clockwork solo the off lane, and Lanem the solo Alchemist mid, looking like he's rushing a bottle with the Tango triple branch build.
So Mirana would, kind of increase base damage thanks to things like Wraithman and GG branches against a quick rushing Lamb on the bottle, and he doesn't have, a stout share or anything. You expect Mirana to have a very kind of good time until maybe level 5 when Acid Spray kind of
The problem is her base damage sucks, but it is mitigated a lot by this extra pool. He can start off with a Wraithman, giving her 54 damage. I think her base is just terrible. If we do the math real quick, she has 8 agility plus 3 damage, so that's 11 damage. She would start off with 43. That is just
that's just horrid.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Right. So Alchemist, I think she'll have a pretty good time simply because she got pulled. I'm really scared for LGDint's offlane though. This is traditionally a very weak offlane. Wisp, first of all, is not the best offlane hero. Naga Siren, pretty level dependent, although Riptide does do pretty good damage early. And again, versus triple lane, I would be a little bit scared for them, but they do have. I was about to say Brax, but it's actually Pycat on the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, meanwhile, the top lane here, I see having all sorts of trouble because he's dealing with 2 Prophet Illusion, an army of Treants that's on him. And we already have Pycat hitting level 2, which is a crucial level, especially for the strategy that LG is employing. The fact that they have to go kind of TPing in 4v3 on that bot lane. But you are, again, doing it against Visage, one of the most dangerous hero to go up against early on. A ton of pressure already being put onto Luo, at least for now. But they're not finding any opportunity for kills.
Yeah, so it looks like Brax is actually playing the support. I believe they've been giving the last hits to the Gyro Cup. Yeah, 4-1 on Misery, and Brax is 0-0. So farm priority is going to Misery. He has 1 level in Rocket Barrage, soon to be level 2, and all these supports are in the jungle. I'm looking for... I don't want to take my camera off bottom. Looks like they're just constantly harassing.
Yeah, and when you're harassing against us, Wisp, every physical hit you do is full damage because he dude's got 0 armor. Back on top, Icy, level 3. Leveling up Rocket Flare. I kind of think that maybe you want to go a little bit heavy battery assault because you can generally find kill opportunity against a Nature's Prophet. It depends on his micro of the Treant. So if he has Treants next to you, then battery assault's not going to do
I think battery assault's a decent pickup, especially if they want to do it like what we've seen LGD.int doing, which is Nature's Prophet helping out their triple lane, and this way Clockwork contribute to their triple lane by sending down rockets. If it hits on 3, that is a ton of damage, but we'll see. It's pretty difficult to hit, and I'm pretty sure he's been using the top lane, but battery assault definitely very good versus Nature's Prophet if those treants aren't in the way.
Back in the mid lane here, Lamb throwing that Acid Spray whenever I look over. He's 8-1, but meanwhile, if you look at G, a ton more denies, and you gotta rate denies pretty highly on the mid lane as the level kind of will start to swing to G, and he will be bottle curling as we speak.
And looks like G is going for a 2-1-1 build, even though, or a Sacred Arrow was buffed a little bit, so we can do that extra 100 damage, even at level 1.
They're going to go on Ice Path on the bot lane right now. Misery's going to slow down a little bit, but he's going to re-engage her on Luo. Tether back in here from 1437. We'll be tangling up. And
you got to respect Rocket Barrage, man. That spell is insane.
I mean, even if you have a creep wave next to you, you take a couple of those flat cannons and you go down quite quickly, or Rocket Barrages.
And looks like Icy is having somewhat difficult of a time top 9-0. Again, the Nature's probably pulling out way ahead in creep score 15-9 for him compared to 10-1 for Rattlesnake's Clockwork. Meanwhile, in mid, looks to be fairly even, 13-7 for the Priestess of the Moon and 11-2 for
more
Alchemist.
denies here on G again, keeping the level 6 away from Lamb. And
can I even call her Priestess of the Moon anymore?
You can.
Yeah, I don't know if the newer players will remember or will know that her name is Priestess of the Moon, but Potom, Mirana.
Yeah. Mirana is definitely one of the more forgotten heroes. Let's see if she's going to be being able to have a good time. What do you think she's going to be going for? We haven't seen her for quite a bit.
That is a very good question.
Yeah, the older builds, things like Treads are phased into a Yasha, Manta. Are we going to see some sort of like Shadow Blade for some kind of increased ganking? Or do you think against this particular lineup of fairly tanky here? Are we going to see some early game Desolator of some sorts?
I don't think her role is in damage. I think she's just much better to the nuke potential. I think a phase drums build is just the safest build. It's an all-around build. It works well. They have a lot of heroes can benefit from the attack speed and the move speed of drums, and it can save Misery. I think he scales much better with items than the Priestess of the Moon can. Okay,
well, we'll definitely keep a closer eye on him in terms of what item he'll pick up. Meanwhile, the supports have been having a long engagement in terms of wars on the bottom, as Rattlesnake supports are constantly dewarding, making sure they can get the pulls, and of course, the Dire supports are trying to prevent it. Oh, here we go, 1437. You can see that he's constantly being quote-unquote out of position, but he should be fine because he gets tether. As I say that though, the dagger's coming in, the nuke's gonna come in. That's gonna be first blood immediately. Moonlight Shadow already comes down. Kaboon a little bit of trouble. They're not focusing on him though. In fact, we want Brax. Brax is invis, running in the shadow. They do actually kill Jakiro. They want a little bit more. He is. That invis at level 6 is just so obnoxious. He finds Neo, and Neo thinks he'll save. Does he have any flak cannon? He doesn't. Another nuke flies through. The balls are they're too short. From Riptide coming up from behind. Duo wants to fight this, but you cannot.
Gotta respect the rocket barrage.
Oh my goodness. Kabu comes in trying to help out. Not going to do anything. Lamb does have one more stun, and I do believe Misery is going to go down as a result. So really a hectic team fight on the bot lane. 3-2 in favor of LGD.int, but first blood went to Rattlesnake.
And nice rotation by the Alchemist there. He was just there at like almost as soon as they engaged. Again, a little bit of misplay by 1437 there. He tried to tether, and it wasn't outside the range, so he didn't actually move with the tether, and that kind of set things up. I thought he was going to totally tether away to a far target and dodge a Visage nuke, but that did not happen. But I'm actually surprised that Nature's Prophet didn't go around too, but he did contribute with his Wrath of Nature.
I see. Educated guess on that rocket flare, not going to hit on Brax, who was definitely watch out for it. One big thing for me was Pycat did not join that fight. Very different in terms of playstyle compared to Brax last game, who just was in the middle of the
Looks
fight
like he's going for phase boost though.
Yeah. Generally, we do see phase boots against slow base lineups, things like using like battery assaults or desolate or stifling daggers, but I'm kind of a bigger fan of treads myself.
It's decent for kiting melees too. I've seen it gotten in the 1v1 matchup versus Lifestealer, but again, just different playstyles from Pycat and Brax.
Any thoughts on not rushing for a quick Midas, considering the fact that he's in a safe lane?
I think that they just need to win this aggressive triple lane. I think that's their utmost importance right now. They need to win their lanes, and after that they can get greedy. But they're still in that kind of awkward position where they can easily fall behind if their triple lane just gets owned. They could easily get team wide right now if we see another rotation from the Alchemist, and if he can contribute to that or help with the phase boots or like early whatever items, early mech, I think that would just be very well going into the mid game for them.
Yeah, Mirana already have Moonlight Shadow back up, and we saw how obnoxious it was for them last time. Do they have any detections? That's a question. Nothing on Jakiro. And it looks like Neo does have a single Sentry Ward left. That Sentry's going to have to pull a ton of weight. And Misery, no going to be made on Luo just yet. Luo already fairly tanky. The single point into Dispersion, as well as having poor Mancho, and 2 charges on Matterstick. With this CG trying to rotate on the bot lane, has Teleport Scroll and double damage. I think they should be trying to make a go, but you really can't find the angle.
And they really do have to watch out for Moonlight Shadow. That spell is so good for 1 point. I really don't understand that Mirana to just skip it at 6. That spell is incredible. 75 mana, so 50.
Clockwork Coke, it's gonna fly to you on the bot lane here. Well, and Misery trying to fight himself out of there. Moonlight Shadow being used, but he's under the gaze of that tower, trying to tangle to the right side. And Soul Assumption, you cannot dodge that. Well, you were just talking about how good Moonlight Shadow is. One of the big weaknesses is the very, very long cooldown. He is invis up. Arrow. Oh, no. Arrow barely hit.
That hit?
Nice leap forward to apply.
Are you kidding me? Did you see that?
We've seen some Hacko shots. That was maybe a lucky one for G.
What in the world with that arrow? Oh, my goodness.
Arrow's got an AoE, so I'm pretty sure Lamb is just calling BS right now.
I'm calling BS on that. And he's going to rage buyback.
That's some rage, because I think he had like 4 seconds left on his respawn. But, you know, 1-for-1 trade with the Clockwork T being bought. But, as meanwhile, Pycat pressuring up top here.
You really do have to worry about the Spectre. LGD should win this early game simply because the Spectre pick. It's kind of like PL, where if you don't win the early game with them, you're going to lose the late game too. So, I'm glad that they're a little bit up ahead in kills, or else it would just be a completely one-sided game. Meanwhile, on top we see a net.
Yeah, he's going to get Riptide, and then right clicks with that face move doing a ton of work. The Spectre is going to hunt and trying to do something. They are going to get the kill on Icy, but just barely. And Luo, he's not going to get a kill on Pycat, and I think he should have refocused on Brax instead.
And that phase boost paying off.
Yeah, it really did. The plus damage, not only helping out on last and deny, you can see that he's leading the entire game. Also been very helpful in terms of getting that kill.
Misery on bottom lane.
Oh, trying to make a dive here against Kabu. Of course, the creep wave doing a very good job. The call down's going to come through as well. G coming in. The arrow should hit this time. Oh, Soul Assumption. Not really doing a ton of damage here, as I guess these souls on Neo not really too
Are they going to dive the Visage?
I don't think you need to, considering that...
You got that Rocket Barrage, man. Yeah. That thing can just destroy Sagam.
If you dive against Clockwork and he TPs in, that's fairly dangerous, so they don't make that dive, at least not right now. It's also, you're diving with your, like, Wisp. He's not exactly the best tower diver.
So Alchemist also going for a rather not greedy build, going with the early phase boots. No Midas Rush, no Shadow Blade Rush, no Battle Fury like we see a lot of the Eastern players.
And don't have that 1 point of valueness.
I know. Need that value.
Yeah, solo mid Alchemist generally focus a little bit more on spells. They do have the mana to spam it thanks to the bottle, and they're generally rushing for things like quick mech for the team. So it makes complete sense that you're playing a lot more for the team and less for yourself.
G's been getting a lot more rooms than the Alchemist has been, and that is another reason why Mirana is favored in this matchup. Ooh, this long range arrow, it will whiff.
Not sure what that one was aiming for. Maybe he thought
I think he's hoping for the 400 radius arrow.
Maybe he thought that one would curve, but no lucky arrow here for G for now. For me, I think the LGDint should start looking at kind of tier 1 tower objectives. Get their Whisper level 6, because they do have a ton of magical damage, as you pointed out, from the Mirana, from the Wrath of Nature, and they really should start taking advantage of it. But now Neo hits level 6, and that complicates things, because those birds, it will just murder.
Yeah, they're waiting for a couple things right now. First thing they're waiting for is the Midas on Pycat. It is coming on the Chicken right now. They're also waiting for level 6 on the Wisp. He's 542 out of 600 XP, so he's very close to that, and probably the level 6 on Brex. So I think they're just taking it a little bit easy, just waiting for opportunities to come to them. They don't really have to create it right now and take that necessary risk. For example, tower diving the Visage that you said they shouldn't do. Again, they don't need to really take unnecessary risk right now. They've gotten a lot of the early game kills. They didn't lose their offensive trouble lane. Meanwhile, there was a ward dewarded here by 1437. May see some action.
Well, Naga is turning on the bottom, but the Spectre's going to come through right now. They want Misery. Misery is going to get Moonlight Shadow. Sentinel gets dropped down immediately. And, well, it looks like you cannot run and defensive relocate back. Kabu's very low. And, well, Brax, this is so annoying. Brax just walks in. He's trying to get the Riptide, but the Centaur still see him just a little bit. Oh, my God. Macropyre on the path. They are finally going to get killed. And look at what an arrow comes out against Icy. Double Starfall should hit on Icy. Icy is dead. Luo cannot run away because of that ensnare. And basically a close to a team wipe. Even the birds, they do not run away. The balls now see on Neo. Neo, you cannot run away now. He drops one nuke and kills Pycat. Takes him to grave with him.
Wow, Pycat just bought his Midas. He has 1,000 gold even after dying there.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
So most of them are reliable gold as well. LGD strikes
that was huge for them. Yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't get any towers out of that, but hey, they got a ton of gold, they got a ton of levels, and Misery TP's up top. And continue farming. He's going for a straight BKB. I love it. Against this particular team, you just want that extra HP. You want the magical immunity.
The good thing about LGD's lineup that is you can't really focus down any of the heroes. If you focus on Gyrocopter, Potom and Prophet are going to clean up, as well as the Naga Siren, and they just have a lot of heroes that you need to keep down. Similar to, ooh, I see an arrow coming. It will completely whiff.
That's called a scouting arrow, man.
400 radius arrow.
Yeah. Tower is going to get denied here. Let's see if Ron's going to try to leap in. Stun's going to get channel here. It's going to get tossed out to 40. Look at that damage output.
That deeps, man.
Oh, and a quick deny here by Alchemist. Against like 1v2, 1v3. Nicely played.
Again, they have a lineup similar to Rattlesnakes where they just have so many heroes that you need to try and keep down. They had the Gyrocopter, the Alchemist, and the Dragon Knight last game. This game, LGD has the Priestess of the Moon solo mid already way ahead on farm. It is a Shadow Blade that you called out earlier. You have the Nature's Prophet who's pulling way far ahead in terms of last hits and net worth, and Gyrocopter too. So again, they have a lot of heroes they need to worry about in this late game. Meanwhile, Rattlesnake pretty much only has Spectre because Alchemist is just going for more of a safe build with the mech. with the buckler into or with a phase boost into a mech and not getting that value on that 1 point that Grievous.
I mean, and if you look at Rattlesnake Luo, he's got nothing. He's got a face boot at what 13 minutes. He got offensive trialing upon, and they lost that one pretty badly. So I think Rattlesnake right now is in all sorts of trouble. Gold chart is falling closer and closer to 7,500, and considering the fact they have kept up most of their towers and they're still losing by that much gold, it just goes down to the farm. The last hit chart just shows that Highcat, G on the mid lane, doing a lot better overall.
Indeed, and they've taken down 2 T1 towers thus far, and that safe lane tower, I think they really need to get that down soon, just so Rattlesnake can use, or so that Rattlesnake can't use their jungle. They're level 6 Visage. He got his ultimate before the other heroes on LGD, the Naga Siren, as well as the Wisp, but I think they need to put some pressure out on that.
Yeah, well,
soon.
I think it's
soon to come.
I think LGD is the team that's going to be putting pressure because they have Song Siren for any type of long-range offensive initiation they want to do. They already have Relocate backup. Here comes a tier 1 tower push, or at least maybe even a bait being set up using Luo, because Clockwork just teleported to the tier 1 bot. Arrow not going to hit. It is going to scout a couple of players though, and I mean,
I think that he should have shot it from like over here. He kind of shot it like over here, so it
like through these trees.
Yeah, you can just shoot it through the tree line, and then by the time you see it, it's a little bit too late. Regardless, I mean, arrow, it hasn't been too big of a factor. I haven't seen too many hit. I mean, there was that one melee range one in IC and that super hacks one in mid, but we haven't seen too many ensnare arrows.
Yeah, I felt like Mirana's effectiveness has been felt this game, considering the fact that the
definitely.
Moonlight Shadow, both
Here
of
we
them,
go.
has been pretty effective.
They have that ward though. They definitely saw it coming.
Moonlight Shadow?
Yeah.
Oh, they saw the Fade time on
Yeah,
the other
they
side
saw
of the map?
they saw the moon icon, the crescent moon.
Well, Luo
Oh,
is
that sentry ward actually doesn't see either of those observer wards right in the middle. Some bad luck for 1437 there.
You see Rattlesnake just playing so damn defensively. They know they should be fully
King
aware.
that chicken.
Bracer gonna get picked up here. Uh-oh.
Gotta kill that llama.
Uh-oh. One hit KO here using that Shadow Blade. Leaps back out on G, and that's, well, a ton of gold for the rest of the team.
Again, these wards are really just missing on the side of LGD, and they had one observer immediately dewarded by them, and this one sentry not catching any of the observer wards. Quite unfortunate for these support players.
So this is fairly reminiscent to game number 1. Remember when LGDN just came out storming, got a ton of kills, and Rattlesnake just held hands, played defensive Dota, one of the most defensive Dota, and somehow found their way back. Now, they were farming for more impactful items like Shadow Blades and whatnot. Right now, Rattlesnake is farming towards something, anything. I guess it's going to be a ultra late game Relic build on Spectre Arrow Whiffs on the mid lane. But I just don't know what Rattlesnake can do in the next 5-10 minutes. And the fact that they're not dying right now against this particular aggressive lineup, again, consisting of Relocate and Teleport, it's not too bad for Rattlesnake. I mean, it could be better, but it could be a lot worse as well.
Yeah, I think it could be a lot better for them because they don't have like a good catch-up lineup. Spectre's not a good catch-up farmer. He doesn't have Grievous Greed. He doesn't have Acid Spray for the stacks. He doesn't have Flat Cannon for the snacks. He doesn't have the Dragon form, and that's a really great way for these weak carries to catch up, and they don't have that tool available to them, especially with Alchemist going this mech build. So he's not going to be too much of an impact mid to late game in terms of deeps potential, but the Spectre, I mean, it's really all on him. Look at him right now. He's so poor. He had to buy dust himself. Oh my goodness.
Did he actually buy dust?
Yeah,
himself?
I'm hovering over it. It doesn't say belongs to blah blah blah. It's just wow.
Well,
Support Spectre.
Well, when your supports are maybe too poor to buy themselves, I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Arrow, it's going to whiff as well. Even though these arrows are not hitting, they're preventing Rattlesnake from even approaching out. I do want to disagree slightly on the one point, is that Spectre is a good catch-up hero when you rampage them. But
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure how he's going to find that rampage with his item, but sometimes when you get a lucky, haunt in and those procs
looks like
are
Rattlesnake
happening.
is trying to do the same thing they did last game, which is clump up and try and find kills as 5. This is what teams do when they're behind, and they are definitely behind at this point. XP graph almost 10,000 in favor of LGD, and gold graph around the same 10,000. So Rattlesnake trying to find anything to hold on to right now. Spectre scrambling for farm, but I mean, what can he really do right now?
He
My
misses
goodness.
the Nano tower, and he just runs away from that tower.
Top lane.
Yeah,
They're in trouble.
Big smoke gank up top, but don't they have Naga
Wow,
Siren? They have
yeah.
Naga Siren sitting right behind. There's no way they get this kill.
That is, wow.
Yep.
What positioning by Brax right there. Are they
mean,
going to
he
relocate
knows, right?
gank too?
In fact, they want to turn this around. 3-man call down, and Flat Cannon BKB comes out here. Kabu, Sagam, they're also low, but the Bird focusing him down, and actually, it's going to be Misery running forward, doing a ton more damage. Your IC is going to be low. The Sun's going to come to against Pycat, but Invisibility shielding them. Where the hell is the Sentry? Where the hell was that carry PA Dust? I think she popped it, but nobody actually followed through with the damage.
Wow. Rattlesnake just tried to gank them 4v2, and it just completely turned around in their face. Great item choice by Gyrocopter. BKB Rush just really allows them to man up in that situation. I thought the relocate came a little bit late, but still, they came out way ahead on that fight.
Yeah, of course, Silent Siren doing a ton of work, and of course, G coming in as well, looking for some solo kill. I don't really think you could do it against the Alchemist, considering of mechs and whatnot, but if you get a single TP and he's asking his ally for one, here comes Brax. Couple hits to open things up, and here comes a TP as well from, there's a Sprout, arrow to follow through. No, come on, G. Missing that arrow, the Ensnare will not miss. That's a 2-man stun. The Riptide comes through as well. Mech being used, and Lamb is going to be home scot-free thanks to his allies coming in. So that arrow missing did cause him to
He
kill.
just wait for the ensnare.
Yeah, you really should.
Can't get lucky every time.
Yeah. Well, when you have 800 AoE arrows, maybe you can. But,
Oh my goodness. And Brax is doing pretty well on farm too. Treads, he's actually only died one time, but that positioning was just so great for them. He kind of predicted the gank coming out and just totally turned things around. If he was, I mean, a lot of supports just like pull at inopportune times, ward at inopportune times, but Brax definitely coming through with the positioning.
yeah, Brax has been very impressive both games. Last game on the offlane Nature's Prophet, this game on a support Naga Siren, just showing the versatility that he can show as a player. Meanwhile, we saw the difference in terms of gold and levels in the supports last game. Look at the levels in this game. 9 Naga, 9 Wisp.
Luo is in big trouble bottom.
He could dagger into trees, man. He's got this. Look, dagger into trees.
Not with the tether stun and the net.
Oh, man, JK. Just everybody coming out way too fast. And as hard of a kind of one-sided victory at the end was for Rattlesnake last game, I think LGD is approaching to the point where they could start taking tier 2, taking Roshan, and there's no looking back.
Rattlesnake trying to get back in this game though, using another smoke, but this time just to lay out ward. They just placed this one in middle, trying to catch a hero out alone in the mid lane, perhaps farming downhill during nighttime. That would be a good opportunity for them. Or right now on bottom, there's only 2 heroes right there.
Oh, Clockwork Hook, that's gotta hit 2. Looks like 1 leaps out. Moonlight Shadow is gonna be used and relocate back up. Can they get the kill? They do, and looks like they do actually stun 1437 out of that relocate.
Wow, that would have been so clutch by them.
It's a quasi quote-unquote channel spell, even though it's not really a channel. And if you stun him during the relocate, it doesn't work. So they do stun him out of it. Misery is gonna destroy, or at least attempt to destroy the tier 2 up top. And he's looking for an arrow. He being G, not gonna find that, not gonna connect it, and Nam will continue to farm.
I like what Rattlesnake's doing though. They're not sitting back and just farming at their T2s and playing really safe. Ooh, on bottom lane.
Yeah, G should be fine. He has Naga sleep back up, and they will sleep up in time.
Yeah, and Rattlesnake's just been looking for kills even though they know they're behind. They know they can take fights if they outnumber them or if they get really nice initiates by Alchemist or the Clockwork. And they're trying to bring the fight to LGD, trying to catch them out, catch them off guard and surprise and try and hinder the bleeding from this gold graph. Oh my goodness, 12,000 in favor of LGD.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's slowed down, and the XP has bounced back up after that small turnaround on bottom lane.
So if you're in Luo's position where you have no CS by the 22-minute mark, you have no farm, I was going to ask what would you pick up. He picks up a Vitality Booster. Do you think that's the correct choice?
I think drums, just so they can try and fight. If LGD keep... Oh, bottom,
Yeah, they're going to find Wisp. He does not find at least a person to tether to. Maybe, yeah, there's no way. Too far, and well, they do yet find another kill. That was a smoke gank, so that was a 4-man smoke. They're not farming. I think they actually lost gold on that successful smoke gank, but hey, the fact that there's no Wisp on the map ganking your Spectre, you could only sigh in relief.
Yeah, I think, I mean, Vid Booster is not bad, but he's going more passive build, and he needs to be able to farm more. If you just go pure defense on Spectre, you can just heal through the damage. He doesn't do anything without a Diffusal, without a Manta, without a Radiance. Those are the items that you need to do a lot of deeps and team fights, unless you just want to go full tank with Hardest Harass, but they'll just ignore you.
I actually think he just will
Casual Vid Booster.
Casual Vid Booster straight into a Relic and say, hey.
That's going to be the latest Relic ever, though.
It's going to be the latest Relic ever, but there's no other Spectre that I could see could carry them back in the game. I think
I agree with you.
A Radiant Spectre is their only hope, and it's a long shot, but, you know.
Yeah, I think that they'll have BKBs up at that point, but again, it is kind of their only hope for winning this late game with the Spectre. Again, Alchemist going for support items. He does have Shadow Blade now, so maybe he can do a nice transition from the mid support Alchemist into a late game carry, especially with the Spectre liking on farm, but they do need more damage.
Yeah, and I mean, right now for the past 10 minutes or so, LGDint, despite having a strong lead, they can't get anything done. Anything being, getting a hero
this is
kill.
definitely the weak point of their game. We saw them last game just kind of not play too well in the 15 to 30 minute mark. In this game, they're falling slightly behind too. They had such a big lead, but unable to extend it with a lot of dominance.
Yeah, again, they had that one gray play up top here using the sleep to counter engage, but for the most part, Rattlesnake doing a very good job dodging their ganks and then just finding kind of random pickoff. And right now, both Lamb as well as Spectre, despite being down by, again, 12,000 gold, 12,000 experience, and should be, in theory, no map control.
Gotta call down those creeps.
They're farming. Meanwhile, did you see a call down Misery being used? Yeah.
I think one thing that LGD needs to do is use the scouting tools available to them. We see a lot of the Eastern teams, especially How and some of the LGD China players, just constantly send out Force of Nature Treants to scout around the map, but we don't see PyCat doing the same thing, and they have a lack of information. But looking at these Naga illusions, that's exactly what they need to do. Try and find out where Rattlesnakes is, and they can't always have smokes on them. You're gonna die into a smoke gang once in a while, and it has happened before, but smoke is on a 10 minute cooldown rather, and they just need to get more information so they can farm safely, pick better fights, not get outnumbered, not get caught with their pants down with a Clockwork Hook initiate.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is a game of information for both teams right now. I do believe Rattlesnake just picked up a gem, and in fact, it's going to be on Lamb, so he's fairly tank enough to hold that gem. And if you de-ward these particular key warding spots from LGDint, you get yourself a little bit more farm room. Spectre slowly accruing on gold, another 1,000 gold. I don't think he'll just like say, let's upgrade it to the drums now. I don't
go for the relic.
Yeah, you just go big or you go home, and how I guess it's quite meaningful considering that you are in the loser bracket of the Alienware Cup. 3-man smoke gank up top, or at least a 3-man gank up temp up top.
I think that PyCat's going to have a sheep soon, and then Spectre is just going to have a nightmare of a time trying to farm his Radiance. But we will see. 4-man people up top. There is the Moonlight Shadow.
Let's see how good map awareness on Luo. He knows everybody's off the map, and does he stay around for these creeps? He doesn't.
That awareness. Wow.
Like, well, maybe he goes back. Just as I say that, he goes back for the one creep. They're going to open up with the Ensnare, and a Fury of TP should come in right now. There's no support. TPs are way too late, and, well, that's the kill.
G hit an arrow.
What a player.
What a player. But no TPs from Rattlesnake. I mean, they were a little bit too late for that. Luo is going to have a very difficult time farming that Radiance.
Well, I mean, it was a 4-man gank up top, and Lamb's got himself a ton more gold because of that. We just saw him pick up a Shadow Blade, what, 3-4 minutes ago? Now it's up to another 2k gold. I do believe that PyCat has a correct idea. He saw 2 TP scrolls up top and says, hey guys, Roshan pit is open. So he TPs in, summons some trees, calls his allies to come in. I think G's going to pick up this Aegis, or maybe even the Gyrocopter, but Gyrocopter's up top. And again, they want to gank this Gyro, but there's a Wisp backing him up. It's either Naga backing him up or a Wisp, even Smoke backing him up, getting ready to relocate him out.
Yep, there's a Roshan. Looks like Marana will indeed pick it up. And looks like he's going for perhaps a Mantis out. Does he have it completed on Chicken? Yes, he does.
Man, there's just so many items on G. We don't generally see a Stalemate Marana anymore, and we don't see him ever getting this kind of farm. Generally, when we see Marana, we see them playing like offensive trialing-ish style, but so far quite effective here from G. Lamb,
great
again,
farm by him.
I think Lamb is really the true carry for the team now. He started up with things like, mech first, but he's up to another 2,500 gold. I think he goes AC. I think he goes hard and try to bring his team back, or at least buy time for that Spectre.
Yeah, and he's looking a little bit scared. He just picked up Shadow Blade, 2,500 gold after taking out 1 Ancient stack, and with that gem, they have no wars out. LGD does not, and they really need to use these Naga illusions and Force of Nature to scout out right now, or try and kill the Alchemist. Can they take him on a straight up 5-on-5 engagement? I definitely think so, but is Rattlesnake going to be caught in a compromising position where they're not at their T2 or up their T3? Probably not, considering how passive they've been, or how passive they in a position they are, but it looks like a lot of them looking for a little bit of blood. Brax, are they going to find him?
I think all they should look for is actually creeps. They shouldn't look for any kills. I mean, if you do a 4-man smoke gank and you can find some kills, sure, that's okay. But for the most part, just hold down your territory, keep on farming, up to almost 2k gold on Spectre. I do want to point out Luo's definitely been missing a couple of creep kills that he shouldn't be missing. But who knows, maybe he's checking the minimap constantly and keeping up his map awareness.
I think that LGD should try and force a 5-on-5 engagement with that Aegis of the Immortal. They're lacking big items on the Alchemist. I mean, Shadowblade and Mech, they're minor items, and big items on the Spectre. And meanwhile, they have the Scythe of Vice completed. They have the Mantis style completed on the Marana. They have the Aegis, and they actually have a gem now. Thank goodness they picked up a gem. That's exactly what they needed. They need to shut down the vision of LGD. They need to find and kill this Alchemist to take the gem for themselves, too.
And again, this always has been a weak point for LG, and their late game, it seems like they're just not sure how to
clutch in this factor of 3.
Yeah, how to kind of close out the deal. Like they've been ahead by 12,000 gold. This gold chart is slowly swinging down, so it shows that they're keeping up their map control. They're still farming a lot better than their opponent. But, and here's a big one, Luo as well as Alchemist, they use gold a lot better than I guess a Nature's Prophet and a Marana. And if you give them the same amount of gold, and even if you give them like 10-20% more gold on the LG inside, I will still favor Rattlesnake if this game goes as passive as it has been for the next 5-10 minutes.
They do have that Gyrocopter, though. He's getting quite a few items. BKB, he had a long time ago. Yasha and Demon Edge looks like he'll probably have, I guess, an MKB soon.
Yeah,
or Daedalus, probably MKB, though.
But Spectre's up to 2,700. I don't know, man.
I'm surprised they actually haven't Scythe ganked him, just because, I mean, I guess that LGD can't see this, but they've just usually been doing Luo, trying to farm a little bit far away from his team. But Rattlesnake, again, in a very defensive position, ready to take fights out. But again, if they go into a bad engagement, they can always just Song of the Siren, reset, go in if they decide that the positioning is right, or just back out, TP everyone out.
Yeah, any reason why they're just not going for it? Again, it's almost foolproof. You have both Song of Siren as well as Moonlight Shadow to be your exit strategy.
And Aegis, and Relocate.
Yeah, like what exactly is the big deal here?
I'm not exactly sure. I don't think that they should keep... Oh, it looks like Luo might be in trouble on top.
I think he's really just driving him off the lane. I don't think he's really going for the kill. So, yeah, it seems like they're saying, you know, we're content to play passive. We have the Aegis. We know we have the Aegis, and it's running out soon, but we're not using it. And Luo, 3,200.
Yeah, technically LGD has better late game, but as you said, Spectre scales a lot better with items than, let's say, like the Marana, and Alchemist just farms like a champion with his level 4 Grievel's Great. He's taking out the Anxious right now, and things are going to get a little bit hairy for them later if they continue to keep up these farm wars. They're not able to completely shut out Rattlesnake on farm. They can still farm their Ancients. They're farming the big neutral stack right now. They need to try and starve them a little bit more if they want to play this farm again. Again, I think they can do it with the Scythe of Vice and Shadowblade initiates. I think they can do it with the Moonlight Shadow initiate. Like, look at Luo right now. He's out on the far left side. They could just relocate in and Furion TP in with the sheep, just blow them up and just make Rattlesnake turtle even harder than they are right now.
G looking for some solo kill action here. And I guess G, one of the more kind of underestimated factor about Marana is that once she gets her like 3rd or 4th DPS item, whether it's things like MKB or late game crits, she starts to hurt like a truck. And it doesn't matter if you're a Spectre, it doesn't matter who you are, you actually can get brought down quite quickly. But she's actually not there yet. And Spectre, 3,500 gold. We're going to see a relic in about 1 or 2 minutes or so. And again, this is probably the latest relic we have seen in a long while, but a relic's still a relic, and it's one of the most game-changing items.
It will allow him to catch up farm.
Yeah, he could actually kind of aggressively hunt for kills, especially against some of the weaker heroes like Wisp. They do lose the tier 2 tower, that gets denied, but that's just a bit of map control loss being by Rattlesnake. I don't think they care too much about the goal. The llama gets flown out. If that thing gets picked off, though, that's a different story.
That llama. They put a little bit of pressure on the T2, but I think it's too late.
Llama going across the lands. Is he going to pick it up? I mean, might as well, right? Even if you lose it for 3 minutes.
They're circling this thing. They're smoking. They want to kill it. They're using spirit balls.
Well, Spirit Ball does not
Yeah, it
give
doesn't
sight
give vision
anymore.
anymore.
Does
Oh.
he see it? He does
There
see
it
it. That's the
goes.
kill. It doesn't actually matter, considering the fact that he's probably not going to farm that 1300 gold in the next 3 minutes anyways.
Poor
And
llama.
When the llama respawns, it will respawn in the base, and he'll get his relic. It's not like he needs his relic right now.
But again, LGD.int kind of forced to play a defensive for another 4 minutes until that Aegis respawns. I thought they could have made a move like any time they're in the 6 minutes, but they chose to do it at like the 5th to 6th minute, and after that they can't put any pressure on the TD. But looks like they're content to play the farming game.
They're just so passive here as Marana picks up what to be the making of a butterfly. I don't think it's going to be ethereal blade of anything. So, and Leo says, all right, man, you kill my llama, I kill your creeps, no problem.
Lanham has a BKB up, so they are getting some items even during this massive turtle phase.
I think Luo's getting disowned after this game because he's missing so many last hits. I'm sorry, I have to point that out because there's nothing else to point out. As Luo is missing, maybe he does need that relic. That plus 60 damage is quite important for last hitting.
I don't think the Vitality Booster has done anything for him because in most of the situation, he's dead regardless of 250 HP or not. And if he didn't have it right now, I think he would have had his Radiance.
Well, I mean, that's always hindsight, but when you were, 12, 13 minutes ago, I don't think you say, hey guys,
Gotta get that Radiance, man.
let's go straight Radiance Rush. I still believe that.
Oh, they're smoked.
And they do see a misery and they back off. I really don't think they do actually do anything. They do force out a BKB. That's pretty important. And they back off, right? I think Rattlesnake says, hey guys, I think mission accomplished. You force out BKB. Or maybe you say, hey, BKB's down. Let's take
He
a
has
fight.
called down so many creeps this game.
That's cool. I really think that they shouldn't take a fight without the Radiance done on Spectre.
And LGN looks like they don't want to take a fight without the Aegis, possibly on Gods again.
Yeah. Just to remind anybody that's joined the stream, we are in game number 2 between Rattlesnake and LGN. LGN is up by quite a bit, 25,000 goal lead, 25,000 experience lead, but the Radiant not giving up here. They're up a game in the series, and I do believe if this game still keeps going on, I think Spectre could take it, despite the goal lead.
Marana fairly close to Butterfly. We see the Lincolns recently completed on the Naga Siren, so items are still coming in on the side of LGD, just choosing to farm most of the map right now, having control of most of the opponent's jungle. They need to deward this. I saw godz deward it quite a bit ago with his gem, but they have replaced it. But Rattlesnake just trying to farm their limit to a very small corner of the map right now. Maybe they can farm the Ancients, maybe they can extend to the small creep camp, but that is about the extent of their map control right now.
That's cool, that's fine. Luo's still getting creeps. Grievo's Grease still doing some work.
Oh, 1380 gold.
Yep, here we go. Lamb is also trucking towards that secret shot. I'm not sure exactly what he's also picking up. Maybe gonna lob an acid spray. His Invis is running out soon. He does have 2k after BKB, Shadow Blade, and Phase. And here we go, Luo. Llama's back alive. He's got the Radiance.
36 minutes.
You know what you call that? That's when your Charmander evolved. Level 16, guys. But back to farming, because nothing happens just yet.
Well, that'll allow him to farm those 2 creep camps that much faster.
Yep. You know what's annoying? Once you get the Radiance, you actually miss more last hits, because, like, suddenly the damage is a little bit different. But hopefully for Luo's sake.
I mean, he has like 176. I hope
Yo,
he doesn't.
I don't know. It's Luo.
I mean, Nature's Prophet, he has 7,000 gold right now, and how much reliable? Only 1,300 reliable, but what is he gonna get next?
I'm not too sure. Let's actually quickly check over current gold. Everybody's pretty filthy rich on the Dire. Item progression-wise, there has been a link insert on Brax, although I'm not sure whether that's a correct item choice in this game. Like, what are you blocking, really? Like, that will
Unstable
ensure...
Concoction.
Right. That will always ensure a usage of Song of Siren, and that's really the reason you get it. But is it even worth it? Do you think that she should be transitioning into more of a semi-carry role now?
I think they need at least one drums. I don't understand why either of these teams, both of these teams, don't pick up drums. That item is just so good. It's so cost efficient and allows you to take a lot of mid-game fights and win fights that you wouldn't have been able to win otherwise. I think it would have been great on her. I personally like the move speed build, but again, I don't really play support Naga Siren too much.
Yeah, I do believe support Naga Siren should pick up drums, but that's just my outlook on it as well. And well, now what for Rattlesnake?
Well, you're used to casting the super long farming games, Lumi. You tell me what's next.
All right, well, what's next is Luo's gonna farm Heart, and then a Manta, and then a Diffuser Blade.
So what are we looking at here for those times? So 36-minute Radiance. What's your prediction on the heart?
Not hard, the hardest of carries. So let me read this. 40% win rate for games that goes poorly.
He's been in 50 games?
Yeah,
That's way more surprising to me than the stat.
Than the win rate, the low win rate?
Yeah.
I think he's going to farm his next item, the heart, in about 43-ish minute, 44?
43.
Yeah, if nothing goes, nothing happens, right?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's respectable.
I mean, he's not getting too many creeps, but also with the same token, he could also farm a little bit further out because of his vid booster. He's level 17. And the fact that he has a gargoyle helping him out.
They actually... I'm checking Marana's. She hasn't even farmed Butterfly yet. How is that possible? I mean, Radiance farm sure speeds you up, but they have like complete map control right now. Checking everyone's items. Gyrocopter, still same items we saw a while back. He does have his MKB.
He has
EO,
Satanic
no
finish.
mech. Oh, okay.
The full Satanic, actually. He's got it on the courier, and he's waiting for the final piece.
Double Blade of Alacrity up on the Nagasar. Looks like a Diffusal Blade next. And looks like Nature's Prophet has picked up a BKB in his Chrysalis with his Horde of Gold.
Yeah. So, just like to remind everybody that LG has been leading for quite a bit, and it was their strategical call to not do anything. Whether this is the correct decision, we'll have to wait and see.
What do you think the gold advantage is going to be by the time they make a push for the C3? It's 30...
Wow, it's still going down.
32,000? 32,000-ish right now?
I thought that once the Radiance gets picked up, and the fact that you have Grievous Greed on your side, it would at least slow down. And
but again, they can only
even.
farm like... Oh, I just alt-tab. They can only farm like this much of the map. And
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
slowly shrinking.
Yeah. Well, I mean... I don't know. One thing you could definitely say is that LGD is definitely using the map very well. They're farming the enemy jungle, they're farming their own jungle, and they're definitely pushing every single lane. So
Would you say they're getting value out of the map?
they are getting all the value that is to be had on the map. So.
Oh my goodness. And they just need to farm with some gargoyles.
Oh, actually, Misery just walks straight up
Oh,
the
here
hill
it
right now.
goes.
He does have Satanic, he does have Agents. He's flacking off the tower, just killing everybody. Well, the tower is going to take it down about to a half HP. The stun's going to fly through against Misery. He doesn't care. He has all the defensive capability possible. Glyph gets forced out here, and I do believe this is the push coming in.
Let's check the buyback status real fast. I believe, or G does not have it. He doesn't even have the Aegis. Brax does not have it either. The Wisp may. I actually click on that.
They have it on the important hero, which I believe is Pycat, because he could TP back and re-engage, but the flat cannon just doing so damn much damage. Clockwork hooks in and has to use a Ghost Scepter. Misery still on the front line doing so much work with that flag. Everybody getting driven back off the racks. But I do believe this Rex means a single damage. It doesn't mean anything.
That was just pure uncontested. I mean, did they really have to wait for this 33,000 gold advantage to do that? I guess so. Better safe than sorry.
Well, I think what it means that the Radiant has to do next fight is that they have the Suicide Spectre, because he has buyback now, and then you hunt in with their buyback. It's not how you want to spend your 2,700 gold, but
they have to
do that. Yeah. Well, let's see how they do fight this. Misery's going to do the exact same thing. Pops a BKB this time here. The Sun gets challenged on Lamb. He's got to top that Sun. Meanwhile, we do see Spectre gets like one kill in the background. Buyback come here. And Misery should be fine here because Satanic and BKB. Where the hell is the Spectre? Spectre, it's going back to the base of heal. I don't think that's the correct choice here. Lamb gets arrowed to the face. I do believe he's going to go down as well. Drops the gem. He does buy back. Meanwhile, it looks like we do have Clockwork also down. G doing out a ton of damage. But everybody being the Spectre and the Alchemist should be at full HP, but Misery and the rest of the team is just breaking every single building. They're chasing him around. The net comes in against Luo. Luo should die very easily. He does have buyback available. Haunt not being used just yet. Buyback, my man. Buyback.
He has to have that 43-minute heart, man.
Disconnects here coming in from Alchemist. They just called the GG. Don't even want to buy back and fight it.
Goodness gracious.
Well,
a little bit of anticlimactic ending. We were waiting for the 20-minute farm fest for a spectacular ending. But we will get no such show. Disconnect by Rattlesnake. Not even. Wait, they did say GG. Okay, so it wasn't a rage quit for at least for Orange and Blue.
I'm gonna say we saw some spectacular Final Fantasy-esque stutter step from Misery, flacking off the towers and forcing everybody back. That was pretty nice to watch.
Wow, he is fountain camping right now. Yeah. Look at this guy.
What a player.
No. I mean, good play by LGD. I like how they revised their strategy. Stuck with the same core with the Wisp and the Nature's Prophet, and they just executed it a lot better, and I feel like their picks were better.
It was also a different style.
That felt like a 70-minute game.
Yeah, it really did. But I mean, I want to say credit where credit's due. If, for example, LGN lost this game, a lot of people would have gave them like a lot of bad street cred or whatever. Flack is a term. But sometimes you draw the game out and you say, this is the time to push. They got all the key items, Satanics, Aegis, and they win.
Keep in mind that the loser is eliminated from the Alienware Cup.
Sometimes you got to play defensive, yeah.
Yes, you do.
But we are out of anything to say, so let's send it back to the analyst.
Let's check Spectre's items right now. Gyrocopters and Furions? Okay. Go ahead. Take it away.
Wait, Cable.
Yeah.
Hello, Bruno.
Hi, James.
Yeah, I guess in terms of analysing that game, they had plenty of time to talk about what was going
during
on.
the
but,
game.
I think we should remember right at the beginning as well that the LGD International wanted the gyro, and they got it this time with their lineup, and it was really two paces of games as well. The tri-lane action was. It was a lot going on. You know, Pycat didn't actually rotate round.
No.
But eventually, it kind of got out of hand in LGD's favor.
Right.
And then they never really looked back. But yeah, it was interesting to see kind of the Alchemist transitioning into a carry. And
Yeah, well,
it can
you do what you have to do, right?
But yeah, so unfortunately, Rattlesnake will lose that match, and it will be now tied up 1-1. But
unfortunately for Rattlesnake, fortunately for LGDint.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's
Yeah. Now you seem to be rooting for Rattlesnake.
Your prediction's wrong now, too.
no, I didn't say 2-0. I just said they win.
He just said it was going to win.
Oh,
We're going
okay.
to give him the benefit
Well,
of the doubt.
everyone's still in but me. I feel bad now with my prediction.
Aye, aye, aye.
Are you
Like
surprised at
LGDs.
all that you're out so early with your prediction? I'm not.
Oh, well, I didn't bet on this one, so I don't really care personally.
You know,
I have
I
no
want
stake in
to.
this game.
I want to say I'm a fan of the Mirana Priestess of the Moon mid. It's a hero that has been under the radar for so long, with reason, right? Because her base damage is super low right now. The attack animation is not the best, so you normally don't want to see him in a position where she has to compete with farm against another hero. But in the mid position, all you need is a little bit of levels, and that level 6 Moonlight Shadow, she got it level
Pretty
6.
strong.
Suddenly made the turnaround in that bottom lane where it was a tri-lane versus tri-lane, and then after that they abused it so much and so well. Right now it's a very, very good spell.
Yeah, it was very reminiscent of like Solomon Ancient Aberration firing a nuke or a clockwork. It doesn't do damage, but what it does is it prevents a ton of damage being eaten up by your carries.
So, I mean, great job by LGD International. Have to point fingers to that Spectre that didn't have the best of games. Couldn't seem to find any farm. Couldn't seem to. There's some laughs by Kawa. Kawa, tell me, what's funny?
What's funny? Who's on his phone?
What's wrong with that?
He's checking Twitter.
What?
He's got people
My fault?
messaging him in.
Is that hilarious? What?
My mom texted me.
Hi,
What does your
mom of
mum
Lumi.
say?
My mom says, "When are you coming home?"
How long have you seen her? Is it 3 years now?
Like 6.
Yeah, she misses you.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Leave me alone, mum.
But yeah,
Working fine.
not much to say. It was, I think, LGD International. The first game they tried to copy Alliance with the PA Wisp. The second game they tried to copy LGD China with this 50 minutes game that leads to nowhere. I love that team.
Identity crisis right now.
Yeah.
I was thinking they really fit in well with the gameplay so far. But yeah, I guess Kawa, should we go to a short break before the game gets loaded? Is that okay? You guys probably want to get a drink or
Yeah,
something.
we need a long break actually.
Need a
I need
long break.
caffeine.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, I'm sobering up. This is so I'm glad this is the last.
We
one.
have relevant music for the break, by the way.
We have relevant music for the break.
Yeah.
All right then, guys. So this is the Alienware Cup, and also to mention, it's day 9 and it's been going on for a little while.
No, it's too
They-
good.
Day 9 of the Alienware Cup.
Worst fun of the day. Goes to Bruno.
And that's the kind of name you have to remember for everything. It's very quick, Bruno. So you can go on Facebook, Alienware Cup, Twitter, Alienware Cup, and also the website, alienwarecup.com, if you want to keep up to date with the brackets. Of course, on our outro, we'll tell you what's coming up tomorrow, but it's going to be a pretty amazing day. But hopefully, we're going to come back with another, I want to say, amazing game. An amazing game between LGD International and Rattlesnake.
Was
So
it? How
loser
difficult was
this-
it for you to say amazing there?
Amazingly difficult, which was easy to say. See you in just a moment.